Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 566 of the daily podcast AI Brief. Today, we are taking a deep dive into some seriously wild sources. We're talking about Apple taking OpenAI to court over stolen hardware secrets. We've got humanity's proposed Plan A for the year 2040, a rapid-fire look at some major industry shifts, and finally, a rundown of the top new trending AI tools to boost your productivity.
Yeah, it's a packed one. And honestly, the line between software companies and hardware companies is just blurring faster than ever right now.
It really is. So let's just jump right into today's new updates, because this Apple versus OpenAI lawsuit is, well, the sheer scale of the allegations is staggering.
Oh, absolutely. It's massive.
Right. So Apple has officially filed suit, and they're specifically targeting OpenAI's hardware chief, Tang Tan. The core claim here is that OpenAI basically went on a massive poaching spree.
Yeah, they're alleging over 400 former Apple employees were hired away.
400. And Apple is saying this was a direct, intentional pipeline to steal confidential hardware secrets. And they don't just want money, they want the court to force OpenAI to take their unreleased hardware device.
The one being designed by Jony Ive, right?
Exactly, the legendary Jony Ive. They want that entire project sent all the way back to the drawing board.
Which is just a catastrophic demand. I mean, if you look at the specifics in the filing, it reads like a messy corporate divorce.
Yeah.
Especially since OpenAI is Apple's partner for Siri right now.
Oh, that's such a good analogy. A messy corporate divorce. And the details are wild. Tang Tan, the hardware chief, allegedly told job candidates to bring actual parts to their interviews at OpenAI.
Bring actual parts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now think about that. If you're building software, you want to see someone's code, right?
Yeah.
You don't ask for physical parts unless you are trying to reverse engineer physical supply chains and like material tolerances.
Right. You want to see exactly how the metal is machined. It is a totally different level of intellectual property. And then there's Cheng Lu.
Oh man, the iPhone engineer.
Yeah, this former iPhone engineer who is accused of exploiting a bug to get confidential files after he joined OpenAI. The filing even has text messages where he allegedly told a colleague it was, quote, so funny.
It's just unbelievable arrogance, if it's true. Now, OpenAI has obviously responded to this.
Yeah, they're claiming they have no interest in other companies' trade secrets. They say they're just focused on innovating.
But the broader strategic context here is what's really fascinating. The Jony Ive-led device is expected to launch in 2027, and Apple is currently playing catch-up in the AI software space. Yeah.
Right, but Apple's ultimate moat, the thing that makes them untouchable is hardware distribution.
Exactly. It's the physical phone in your pocket. So by filing this lawsuit right now, it feels like Apple is using the legal discovery phase as almost like a DDoS attack on OpenAI's hardware team.
Oh, that is a perfect way to put it. By starting this grueling courtroom battle, they create this incredibly ugly paper trail. It buys Apple crucial time to prepare for this big competition.
It's a brilliant stalling tactic. And speaking of the geopolitical strategy of slowing things down, that brings us to our second big update.
The AI Futures Project report.
Right. They just released a framework called AI 2040. For context, this is the nonprofit behind the AI 2027 forecasts that made a lot of waves recently. And they are stress testing 5 different scenarios branching out from a projected fork in the road in 2029.
And those scenarios are a full-speed race, a unilateral delay, confrontation, cooperation, and a global halt.
Yeah, but the really meaty part is their recommended Plan A. And I need to break this down because it is drastic. Plan A recommends that the US and China must implement a total pause on frontier model training in 2029.
A total pause.
Yes, along with global chip tracking and opening all research to the public.
The insider perspective on this is super telling. Daniel Kukatajlo, who is a former OpenAI researcher, predicts that companies are going to absolutely hate this plan because of the transparency required.
Well, of course they'll hate it. And I just have to ask you guys listening to ponder this. How realistic is a perfectly coordinated US and China training pause in a highly competitive global market?
It's a massive prisoner's dilemma.
Exactly. But it's gaining traction. The earlier AI 2027 scenario actually reached U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance, and he publicly said, I'm worried about this stuff.
Which just shows how high up this conversation is going.
Right. All right, let's move on to our next section. I'm going to hand it off to you to lead us through our news roundup for everything else in AI today.
Thanks. Yeah, let's slow things down just a bit and run through some other critical updates, starting with some major leadership shifts.
I feel like there's been a lot of movement lately.
There really has. OpenAI's CEO of AGI deployment, Fidji Simo, is actually moving to a part-time advisor role. She cited a chronic illness, but her statement was really profound. She said that curing disease is AI's most important potential accomplishment.
Wow, that's a huge shift in focus for someone at that level.
It is. And connect that to other recent OpenAI exits. Their head of safety, Johannes Heidik, is also leaving. And that is right on the heels of their chief futurist, Joshua Akiem, departing last week.
Man, the changing of the guard over there is real.
Definitely. And over at Meta, they are dealing with some corporate rollbacks. They had to remove the tag to remix feature from their Muse image generator after facing massive user backlash.
Oh, I saw that. People were not happy.
Not at all. Meta admitted they, quote, missed the mark. Basically, they opted all public Instagram accounts into AI edits by default, which obviously didn't go over well.
You can't just assume everyone wants their face automatically remixed by an AI model.
Exactly. Moving on to some major breakthroughs, Runway just launched Runway Dev. It's a single API that serves their frontier video models alongside a third-party image and audio generator.
So they're basically selling the underlying plumbing now.
Right. And then finally, we have to talk about OpenAI's massive milestone. They published an AI-generated proof of a 50-year-old unsolved math problem.
I am still in shock over this one.
It's incredible. They used the day-old GPT 5.6 Sol Ultra model, and it actually created 64 subagents to solve it in under an hour.
I mean, creating 64 distinct subagents to autonomously solve a 50-year-old math mystery in an hour? It just fundamentally changes how we view AI reasoning. It's not just predicting words anymore.
It's real multi-step problem solving.
It really is. Okay, let's pivot to our final section for today. Trending AI tools. We've got 7 tools from our sources, and I'm going to walk through how you can actually use these right now.
Let's do it.
First up is GPT 5.6 Sol, OpenAI's new flagship model. Use case here is simple. Handling your most complex logic and deep reasoning tasks.
Right, like that math problem we just talked about.
Exactly. Second is Runway Dev, which we also just mentioned. The use case here is for developers who want to easily integrate high-end video generation directly into their own apps.
It just makes it so accessible.
Yeah. Third is GPT Live. This is OpenAI's new natural voice model. If you want to create hyper-realistic conversational voice assistants that don't sound like a robot, this is it.
That's going to change customer service forever.
Totally. Fourth is Front Page. These are AI agents for website building and editing. The use case here is incredible. It lets the AI continuously improve your site's conversion rate using real traffic data.
So it's basically an autonomous web developer.
Exactly. Fifth on the list is Copy Slides. This tool takes PDFs, screenshots, and videos and converts them into editable PowerPoint slides.
Oh, that's a massive time saver.
Right. You can turn an hour of meeting recordings instantly into a pitch deck. Sixth is GenApe. This is a content creation platform where you can plan and produce all your marketing content without constantly switching tabs.
Which is always a nightmare.
Yeah, it centralizes everything. And finally, the 7th tool is Interval. This is a customer feedback tool, but instead of forms, you deploy AI to actually talk to your users in real time so you know exactly what features to build next.
You know, what's really amazing is when you synthesize this list. Think about how stacking these tools together creates a nearly entirely automated digital workflow.
Oh, for sure. Walk us through how that would look.
Well, like you could use Interval to find out exactly what your customers want through natural conversation. Then you pass that data to Front Page, which automatically builds and optimizes the website for that product.
Wow.
Right. And meanwhile, GenApe is writing your marketing copy and Runway Dev is generating your video assets. It's an entire ecosystem running itself.
It's wild how fast we got to this point, and that basically brings us to the end of our deep dive today. Just to summarize the sheer scale of what we covered, from corporate espionage lawsuits over hardware to 50-year math problems solved in an hour by AI subagents.
It is a lot to process.
It really is. And I want to leave you with one final provocative thought to explore on your own. If AI models are now creating dozens of subagents to solve legacy math problems completely autonomously, what happens when they apply that same multi-agent reasoning to the very hardware design that Apple and OpenAI are currently fighting over?
That is a fascinating question. Thank you all so much for tuning in.
Yes, please follow the podcast and be sure to share this deep dive with a friend. We will see you in the next episode.